Today we are installing a Whirlpool water purifier under sink filtration system. We decided to pick one of these up to reduce our costs for water. We also decided we wanted a healthier way of getting water. So don't be overwhelmed by what you're seeing here. Ryan is also doing some extra plumbing work under the sink as well today and installing a faucet. Redoing our kitchen a little bit as well while we're here. So I'm going to hand it off to him.
Alright, so like Brianne said, don't be overwhelmed by all this shark bite stuff. Basically, I'm going to cut out the 3/8 copper down in the basement, work my way up with PEX. This awesome stuff right here. This stuff's really easy to work with, just about anyone can do it. And the reason why we're doing this is to obviously save money. And with some of these tips, hopefully you can save money too. So, we're basically going to do some time-lapse video. I'm going to remove the old faucet, get the new one installed, because this isn't an install video about the faucet. It's an install video about the water purifier. So when I get to that point, I'll break it down for you guys. So let's get started. Alright, so another pro tip. We're going to shut the water down to the house. So you're going to want to leave your faucet on here. And I'm going to turn the sink on in the bathroom as well and shut the water down. A few other upgrades down in the basement that we also did too was like an inline water filter and a new water softener, stuff like that. But I also installed a nice ball valve here to easily shut down the water to the house. It's really simple. Pro tip, make sure everybody in the family knows where your water shutoff is. It'll definitely help in the future if there's any emergencies. So now the water is shut off to the house just by shutting that down. So pretty cool. Let's head back upstairs. Alright, so let's install the base for the faucet. Basically, you got these two Phillips head screws, long screws with these mollies essentially on here, and basically what you'll do is set your depth. You don't even have to set your depth, you can honestly just fit it so these slide down in. Okay, so pro tip on this, you definitely want to make sure that you set your depth, or well, I left the toggles down too low. I'll have to go in the sink and adjust them the whole way up and then finish tightening. Alright, so I'm laying on my back right now, and here is what I was talking about. I should have probably almost maxed those two toggles the whole way, but oh well. So I'm just going to get it finger tight in here, then hit it with the Phillips head on the upper side. And that'll lock that in place, so we can put the faucet insert in place and go from there. And basically, that's nice and secure. It's compressed the seal on the bottom, and the unit is a harder plastic, so don't crush it, you might break it, aka don't get any type of power tool on there. Just use your Phillips head screwdriver. You'll be solid. So that looks good. I'm going to insert the tubing, the blue tubing, into the faucet. And this is just a push fitting right there. So we've got it inserted. I'm going to feed our tubing in. And And it's basically just a quarter turn to lock it in place. You'll know when it's in place because you'll see it seated down here. And let's go down to the filter. Now, one thing I just want to show here on my installation, make sure you do not over tighten or cross thread this. If it starts cross threading, back it out. Do not keep going because you will destroy this piece. And this comes in your Whirlpool kit for the installation, so don't go crazy. Now this is the shutoff valve here, shark bite fitting. This is what the installation should look like. This line goes up to your faucet. This is a 3/8 to 1/2 inch, and that's what this looks like. You can pick these up at Lowe's or Home Depot. Most of your modern faucets and stuff, anything that you would upgrade in an older house or some of the new houses, most all new houses are going to have a system similar to this. So basically, you may not even need the shark bite fitting. I just used this because we're using new PEX down here and I'm just replacing everything. So that's why I did that. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. I'm giving myself enough extra tubing on the filter itself so I can actually take it out from the drawer or the cupboard down here and replace the filters so I can get to it easily. Shorten the tubing up too much. I'm sure you can find space for the excess. That's just a suggestion. So the last thing I'm going to do is, you can see another shark bite right there. I'm going to cut a short piece of PEX to go in between the valve here and that, and that'll basically be it for the installation. Then I'll turn the water back on. Okay, here's the filter outside of the cupboard or the cabinet. Hot water's on the left, also goes over the dishwasher. Here we've got a shark bite ball valve, which I crimped on the left and right side, and then used a shark bite 1/2 inch to 3/8 fitting to go in there and finish that off so I didn't have to get in behind the wash machine or the dishwasher right now. And then we have a T-fitting here, all 1/2 inch, goes down to the basement, and this shoots up to the hot water supply for the sink itself or the faucet. And then over here is our cold water supply. Now, I didn't have to go down into the basement and cut the cold water supply. It looked all right the rest of the way down. I wasn't worried about anything. I had corrosion over there and it was a little iffy, so that's why I cut everything out in the basement. Now, on the cold water, we'll come up here to the shutoff right here. Two very awesome shark bite fittings, followed by the T-fitting that Whirlpool supplies. It's a little sketchy. I didn't like it. Don't over tighten that or you will just completely mess up the whole installation. It is plastic with a push fitting for the yellow tubing that goes over to the filter. And then we get up here to our faucet lines. These are 20 inches. It's 1/2 inch to 3/8, so everything works. With this application, you are going to need to make sure that you have the 3/8 fitting here for your Whirlpool water filter. So the moment of truth, I guess we will test this and see what happens.
Okay, so right now we have the faucet running. We're basically trying to get out any air bubbles, anything like that that's in the lines. And then once it stops sputtering, you're gonna let it run at least 10 gallons through it to get out any carbon that might be built up from the filters themselves, just to kind of clean the system a little. And then you're good to go to drink it. Okay, so we also installed the battery in here. In 6 months approximately, this light will start flashing an amber color. That means it's time to replace the battery and replace the filters. Obviously, if you use it more often, it'll be less than that. If you don't use it that often, it could be longer than that. But they said for a regular household, it's approximately 6 months that this will last. Okay, so normally in a year's time for cooking and drinking water, we are spending between $600 and $700 on bottled water because ours wasn't safe enough to just drink or use from the tap. With this, we will be spending approximately $150 a year to replace filters and batteries, give or take a little bit. So we're going to be saving like $500 a year on drinking water and cooking water alone, which is fantastic. Plus, this is 10 times safer to drink and healthier to drink than bottled water because you don't have any of the plastics and you're making less waste. So it's a really good investment for helping the environment, helping your health, and helping your bank account. Thanks for watching our video. If you have any questions, put them in the comment sections below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.